I need to tell someone this. I've kept it inside too long. I'm sitting in my apartment in Winnipeg right now. It's February. There's snow outside my window, and I can barely afford to keep the heat on. My pension check comes in 12 days, and I've got maybe $200 in my account. I should be comfortable. I worked 41 years for the city. I should have enough. But I don't, because of sunshine. Let me back up. Let me tell you how a 63-year-old retired water treatment technician from Winnipeg ended up broke because of a 23-year-old girl in Manila. You need to understand how this happens, because if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. I arrived in Manila on October 14th, 2022. I remember the exact date because it was my birthday. 62 years old, and I'd never been to Asia. Never been anywhere really, except Florida twice and once to Montana for fishing. My wife Linda passed in 2019. Cancer. After that I just worked until I hit 62 and took early retirement. The pension wasn't huge, but it was enough. 2,800 Canadian a month. The house was paid off. I had about 40,000 in savings. I was fine. But I was lonely. That's the truth of it. My daughter lives in Calgary with her family. I see them maybe twice a year, my buddies from work. Most of them moved to BC or died. I spent 2 years sitting in that house watching television and going to the grocery store. That was my life. Then I saw a video on YouTube. Some guy talking about retiring in the Philippines, how your money goes further, how the people are friendly, how the weather's always warm. He made it sound like paradise. 2,800 Canadian was like 70,000 pesos a month. He said you could live like a king on that. I watched more videos. I joined some Facebook groups. Everyone said the same thing. The Philippines was the place to go. Cheap, beautiful, easy. So I bought a ticket. One way. I figured I'd try it for a few months. If I didn't like it, I could always come back. The first week I stayed in a hotel in Makati. It was loud and dirty and I didn't like it much. I walked around during the day, but I didn't really know what to do with myself. I ate at Jollibee because I recognized it from the videos. I went to Robinson's Mall and sat in the air conditioning. I was bored and lonely, more lonely than I'd been in Winnipeg, which I didn't think was possible. On my 8th night there, I walked past a place called Club Paradise. It was on Adriatico Street, just a few blocks from my hotel. There were colored lights outside and music playing. I'd walked past it a few times already but never went in. That night I went in. It was dark inside. There was a long bar on one side and small tables scattered around. A TV in the corner was playing basketball. There were maybe 6 or 7 girls sitting at the bar and a few more standing around talking. They all looked at me when I walked in. I sat at the bar. The bartender was an older woman, maybe 50. She smiled at me and asked what I wanted. I ordered a San Miguel. She brought it over and told me it was 120 pesos. I gave her 200 and told her to keep it. I was halfway through my beer when she sat down next to me. "Hi, sir," she said. "You alone?" I looked at her. She was small, maybe 5 feet tall. She had long black hair pulled back in a ponytail. She was wearing jeans and a tight pink t-shirt. Her smile showed slightly crooked teeth, but her eyes were warm. She asked. "First time in any club," I told her. "I just got here last week." "Where you from?" she asked. "Canada," I said. Her eyes got wider. "Canada? So cold there, right? I see on TV. So much snow." "Yeah," I said. "Lots of snow." "What's your name?" she asked. "Douglas," I said. "I'm Sunshine," she said, putting her hand out. I shook it. Her hand was tiny in mine. "Can I sit with you?" she asked. "Sure," I said. She pulled the stool closer. The bartender came over, and Sunshine said something to her in Tagalog. The bartender looked at me. "She want ladies' drink," the bartender said. 250 pesos. "Okay." I didn't really understand what was happening, but I said okay. The bartender poured Sunshine something that looked like iced tea in a small glass. "Thank you," Sunshine said, touching my arm. "You're very kind." We talked for maybe an hour. She asked me questions about Canada, about why I came to the Philippines. She told me she was from Bicol, a province south of Manila. She came to Manila 2 years ago to work. She said she lived with 3 other girls in a small apartment in Pasay. She didn't tell me what her work was. I didn't ask, but I wasn't stupid. I knew what kind of place this was. I'd seen enough videos. This was a girly bar. She was working here. But here's the thing. She wasn't pushy. She wasn't all over me like I expected. She just talked to me. Normal conversation. She laughed at my jokes. She seemed genuinely interested when I told her about my work in Winnipeg, about the water treatment plant. "That's important job," she said. "You help people have clean water. That's very good." Nobody had said my job was important in 41 years. Not once. I bought her 3 more ladies' drinks that night. Each time the bartender came over and asked if it was okay. Each time I said yes. I didn't care. It was only 250 pesos. That was like 12 Canadian dollars. Back home, a beer at the bar cost $8. This was nothing. Around midnight, Sunshine looked at her phone and said she had to go soon. "The bar closes at 2, she said. "But I need to go home at 1. I'm tired." "That's okay," I said. "I should probably get going too." She looked at me for a moment. Then she said, "You seem nice, Douglas. Not like other customers." "Other customers?" I said. She looked down at her drink. "You know what kind of place this is, right?" "Yeah," I said. "I know." "Most men who come here, they just want one thing," she said quietly. "But you're different. You just talk to me like normal person." Something in my chest tightened. I'd been alone for so long. And here was this girl telling me I was different, that I was special. "Can I see you again?" I asked. "Maybe outside the bar? Like for lunch or something?" She smiled. "You want to take me on date?" "Yeah," I said. "If you want." She took out her phone. "Give me your number. I message you tomorrow." I gave her my number. She typed it in, and then I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. A message from an unknown number, just a smiley face emoji. "Now you have mine too," she said. I paid my bill. I'd bought her 5 ladies' drinks total and had 4 beers myself. The total was 2,000 pesos, about 48 Canadian dollars. I left 500 pesos as a tip. Sunshine walked me to the door. "Message me tomorrow," she said. "We can meet." I walked back to my hotel that night thinking maybe this place wasn't so bad after all. Maybe I'd found something here. Someone. I had no idea what was coming. Sunshine messaged me the next morning. "Good morning, Douglas. You sleep okay?" We messaged back and forth all day. She asked what I was doing. I told her nothing, just sitting in my hotel room. She said I should get out and see Manila. "Maybe I can show you," she wrote. "I'm free today. No work." We met at SM Mall of Asia at 3 in the afternoon. She was wearing a yellow sundress and white sneakers. Her hair was down. She looked different than she had in the bar. Younger. Prettier. We walked around the mall for hours. She showed me the stores. We ate dinner at Chowking. She ordered for both of us because I didn't know what anything was. We got pork chow fan and siomai and halo for dessert. The whole meal cost 400 pesos, less than 10 Canadian dollars. She told me more about her life. She was 23. She grew up in a small village in Bicol. Her father left when she was young. Her mother raised her and her 3 younger siblings alone. Her mother sold fish in the market. Life was hard, she said. Not enough money. Not enough food sometimes. When she was 21, she came to Manila to find work. A friend of hers was working at Club Paradise and got her a job there. "I hate it," she said, looking down at her halo. "But the money is good. I send money to my mother every month, 5,000 pesos, for my siblings, so they can stay in school." "What about you?" I asked. "Did you go to school?" "Only high school," she said. "We don't have money for college." I felt something then. This protective feeling. This girl was working in a bar to support her family. She was doing what she had to do. That took strength. "You're a good daughter," I told her. She looked up at me and smiled. "Thank you, Douglas." After the mall, we walked along the bay. The sun was setting. She took a selfie of us and posted it somewhere on her phone. She didn't seem embarrassed to be seen with me, this old foreign guy. She held my arm while we walked. When I took her home to Pasay in a taxi, she kissed me on the cheek before she got out. "Thank you for today," she said. I had fun. Me too, I said. You want to see me again? She asked. Yeah, I said. Definitely. Okay, she said. I message you. Over the next 3 weeks we saw each other almost every day. Sometimes she'd meet me for lunch, sometimes for dinner. A few times we just sat in my hotel room and watched movies on my laptop. She never asked me for money. Not once. She paid for things sometimes, small things, like snacks or drinks, she insisted. You always pay, she said. Let me pay sometimes. I was falling for her. I knew it was stupid. I knew what this probably was. But I didn't care. For the first time in 3 years, I felt alive again. I felt like someone cared about me. One night we were in my hotel room watching a movie. It was late, maybe 11. She was curled up next to me on the bed. During a quiet part, she said, Douglas, can I ask you something? Sure, I said. You know I work at the bar, right? She said. Yeah, I said. I want to stop. She said. I hate it there. The men who come, they touch me. They say bad things. The mama-san, she's mean. She takes money from us. I want to quit. Why don't you? I asked. She sat up and looked at me. Because I need money. For my family. If I quit, I have no money to send them. What if you found other work? I asked. What work? She said. I have no degree, no skills. Bar work pays good. 300 pesos per lady's drink. If I get 10 drinks in one night, that's 3,000 pesos. Plus if customer barfine me, the bar pays me 1,000. Where else can I make that money? I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say. Unless I have someone to help me, she said quietly. Someone who can support me while I look for other work. Someone who cares about me. She was looking at me. Her eyes were wet. I care about you, I said. I know, she said. That's why I'm telling you this. I never tell customers this, but you're not customer to me. You're different. There it was again. That word. Different. How much would you need? I asked. To quit the bar? She looked down. I don't know. Maybe 15,000 per month? For my family and for my rent and food. It's too much. I know. Forget I asked. 15,000 pesos. That was about 360 Canadian dollars. I got 2,800 a month. I could afford that. I can do that, I said. Her eyes went wide. Really? Yeah, I said. If it means you can quit that place, I'll help you. She hugged me. She was crying. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you so much. You don't know what this means to me. The next day, she quit Club Paradise. She messaged me a photo of her telling off the mama-san. She was smiling in the picture. Free. I moved out of the hotel and got a small apartment in Malate. 1 bedroom, furnished, 12,000 pesos per month. About 290 Canadian. Sunshine started staying there with me. Not every night at first, but most nights. I set up a routine. On the first of every month, I'd give her 15,000 pesos cash. She'd count it carefully and put it in her purse. Then she'd thank me and kiss me. I was happy. For 2 months I was genuinely happy. We'd wake up late. She'd cook breakfast, usually fried rice and eggs. We'd watch TV or go to the mall. Sometimes we'd take day trips to places outside Manila, Tagaytay, Batangas. We went to the beach once. She introduced me to her friends, other girls who worked at bars. They'd come over sometimes and they'd all talk in Tagalog and laugh. I didn't understand what they were saying, but I didn't care. Sunshine seemed happy. My daughter called me once during this time. She asked how the Philippines was. I told her it was great. I told her I'd met someone. She got quiet. Dad, be careful, she said. You hear stories about men going over there and… I know what I'm doing, I said, cutting her off. I'm fine. Okay, she said. Just be careful. After I hung up, I felt annoyed. Why couldn't she just be happy for me? In December, Sunshine told me her mother was sick. She needed money for medicine, 3,000 pesos. I hate to ask, she said, but I don't have it. All my money is gone already. I gave her the 3,000. I didn't even hesitate. A week later, her brother needed school supplies. 2,000 pesos. I gave it to her. Her phone broke. She needed a new one. 8,000 pesos. I bought her a new Samsung. It was still cheaper than being in Canada. That's what I told myself. My rent was low. Food was cheap. Even with giving Sunshine money, I was spending less than I did in Winnipeg. But around January I noticed something. Sunshine started going out at night sometimes. She'd say she was meeting her friends, girls' night. She'd leave around 9 or 10 and come back at 3 or 4 in the morning. Where did you go? I'd ask when she'd slip into bed. Just around, she'd say. We went to different places, just talking and drinking. She smelled like cigarettes and alcohol. Her makeup was smudged. But she'd curl up next to me and fall asleep, and I'd tell myself it was fine. She was young. She deserved to have fun with her friends. But it started happening more often. 2 nights a week. Then 3. Then 4. You're out a lot, I said one morning. I'm young, Douglas. She said. I can't just stay home all the time. I'm not saying that. I said. I just miss you. I'm here now, she said, kissing me. Don't worry so much. But I was worrying. Something felt off. The way she'd guard her phone. The way she'd get messages at all hours and step into the bathroom to answer them. The way she'd come home with new clothes or new shoes that I didn't remember buying her. Where'd you get those? I asked about a pair of high heels. My friend gave them to me, she said. They didn't fit her. In February, she needed 5,000 pesos for her mother's medical tests. In March, she needed 8,000 for her brother's tuition. In April, she needed 10,000 because the roof of her mother's house was leaking. I gave her all of it. My savings account was getting lower. I'd started with 40,000 Canadian. Now I was down to 22,000. But I told myself it was okay. These were emergencies. Real things. Her family needed help. My pension covered the rent and the monthly allowance to Sunshine and basic expenses. But these extras were eating into my savings. Maybe you should look for work, I suggested one day. Just part-time. To help out. She got angry. I'm trying. Nobody wants to hire me. You think it's easy? You think I want to ask you for money all the time? I didn't mean it like that, I said. Yes, you did, she said. You think I'm using you? No, I said. I don't think that. But part of me was starting to think that. I pushed it down. I told myself I was being paranoid. She loved me. She told me all the time. When we were in bed together, she'd say it. I love you, Douglas. And I'd believe her. In May, things got worse. She started being out more nights than she was home. 5 nights a week. 6. Where are you going all the time? I asked. I told you, she said. With my friends. What friends? What are you doing? Why do you care so much? She snapped. You're not my father. I'm your boyfriend, I said. She laughed. It wasn't a nice laugh. My boyfriend, who pays me to be here. That hurt. That really hurt. Is that what you think this is? I asked. She softened a little. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm just stressed. My family has so many problems. I'm trying to help them, and you're always asking me questions. I just want to know where you are, I said. I'm out, she said. That's where I am. She left that night and didn't come back for 3 days. When she finally came back, she acted like nothing happened. She climbed into bed next to me and said she missed me. Where were you? I asked. At my friend's place, she said. I told you I needed space. For 3 days. Douglas, please, she said. Can we not fight? I didn't fight. I just held her. I was scared if I pushed too hard she'd leave for good. In June I started noticing more things. Small things that added up. She'd come home at 4 in the morning and sleep until 2 in the afternoon. When she'd wake up, she'd check her phone for an hour before even talking to me. She'd get messages constantly. Her phone was always buzzing. Who keeps messaging you? I asked. My friends, she said. The girls. We have a group chat. About what? Girl stuff, she said. Why are you so paranoid? One night I woke up at 3. She wasn't in bed. I found her on the couch on her phone. The screen was bright in the dark room. She was typing something and smiling. "Who are you talking to?" I asked. She jumped. She'd been so focused she hadn't heard me come in. "Nobody," she said, turning off the screen. "Just Facebook." "At 3 in the morning? I couldn't sleep," she said. "Go back to bed." I went back to bed, but I didn't sleep. I laid there thinking, trying to make sense of things. The next morning I checked my bank account. I was down to 14,000 Canadian in savings. I'd been in the Philippines for 8 months and I'd gone through $26,000. My pension covered monthly expenses, but all the extras had drained me. I sat down and tried to calculate what I'd given Sunshine. Monthly allowance: 15,000 pesos times 8 months equals 120,000 pesos. Extra requests: approximately 50,000 pesos. Total phone: 8,000 pesos. Other gifts and expenses: maybe another 30,000 pesos. Total: around 208,000 pesos. That was about 5,000 Canadian dollars. That wasn't too bad, I told myself. Not for 8 months. Some guys back home spent that much on their girlfriends easily, but it didn't feel right. Something about it didn't add up. I started paying attention to patterns. She'd leave every Thursday night, every Saturday night, and usually twice during the week on random days. She'd always dress up on those nights. Tight dresses, high heels, full makeup, way more than when we'd go out together during the day. "Where are you going dressed like that?" I asked one Thursday. "Out," she said. "I told you." "Out where?" "Douglas." "Stop," she said. "You're acting crazy." "I just want to know where you're going," I said. "To Makati," she said. "My friends and I go to clubs there." "What clubs?" "Different ones," she said. "Why does it matter?" "It matters because you're my girlfriend," I said. "And you're never here anymore." "Maybe I don't want to be here," she said. "Because you're always interrogating me." She left. She didn't come back until 6 in the morning. When she did, she went straight to the shower. I heard the water running for a long time. I decided I needed to know the truth. I couldn't live like this anymore. The following Thursday, I did something I'm not proud of. When she left at 9 o'clock in her tight red dress and heels, I waited 10 minutes, and then I followed her. I got in a taxi and told the driver to follow the taxi she'd gotten into. He looked at me funny, but he did it. We followed her to Burgos Street in Makati. The taxi district, the bar district. She got out in front of a place called LA Cafe. It had pink neon lights and music blaring out the open door. Girls in short dresses stood outside smoking cigarettes. Sunshine went right in, like she belonged there. I sat in the taxi for 5 minutes trying to decide what to do. Finally, I paid the driver and got out. I walked past LA Cafe. I looked in through the door. It was crowded. Girls everywhere. Foreign men sitting at tables with girls on their laps. Loud music. Flashing lights. I saw Sunshine at the bar. She was talking to an older foreign man. White guy. Bald. Maybe 50. She had her hand on his arm. She was laughing. I felt sick. I walked away before she could see me. I went to a restaurant across the street and sat there for 3 hours, just watching. Sunshine came out of LA Cafe around midnight. The bald man was with her. They got in a taxi together. I wanted to follow them, but I couldn't. I couldn't watch anymore. I went back to the apartment. I sat in the dark living room waiting. She came home at 6:30 in the morning. She looked tired. Her makeup was ruined. She smelled like sex and cigarettes and alcohol. "Where were you?" I asked from the couch. She screamed. She hadn't seen me sitting there. "Jesus, Douglas, you scared me." "Where were you?" I asked again. "I told you," she said. "With my friends." "You were at LA Cafe," I said. "On Burgos Street." Her face changed. "You followed me?" "I saw you with a man," I said. "Who was he?" "A friend," she said. "A friend," I said. "You had your hands all over him." "You're crazy," she said. "You followed me? You're a psycho." "Who is he?" I demanded. "Nobody," she yelled. "Just some guy. We were just talking." "You left with him," I said. "I saw you get in a taxi together." She stared at me. I could see her mind working, trying to figure out what to say. I gave him a ride home, she said finally. His hotel was on the way to here. You're lying, I said. I'm not lying, she shouted. You don't trust me. You never trust me. That's why I don't want to be here. You're suffocating me. I've given you everything, I said. My voice was shaking. I've supported you for 8 months. I've given you thousands of pesos. You gave it to me, she interrupted. I never asked you to. Well, except the monthly thing, but the rest you offered. You wanted to help me. And now you're throwing it in my face. Are you working again? I asked. Are you back at the bars? No, she said. Then what were you doing at LA Cafe? Visiting friends, she said. My friends work there. I was just visiting. Is that illegal? Dressed like that, I said. What's wrong with how I dress? She said. You look like a hooker, I said. I regretted it the second it came out of my mouth. Her face went hard. Fuck you, Douglas. Sunshine, I didn't mean no, fuck you, she said. I'm done. I'm leaving. She went into the bedroom. I heard her pulling out drawers. She came back out 5 minutes later with a bag full of her things. Don't leave, I said. Please. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Too late, she said. Where are you going to go? I asked. She looked at me with something like pity. I have plenty of places to go, Douglas. She left. The door slammed behind her. I sat there in the dark for the rest of the morning, replaying everything in my head, wondering if I'd just destroyed the best thing that had happened to me in years, or if I'd just escaped something that was destroying me. She didn't contact me for 5 days. I messaged her dozens of times. I called. She didn't answer. Finally, on the 5th day, she messaged back. I need time to think. Please, can we talk? I wrote back. Not now. When? I don't know. I was going crazy. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I just sat in the apartment, waiting for her to message me. On the 9th day, she agreed to meet me. She said we could meet at Starbucks in Robinson's Mall. Neutral ground. I got there early. I sat at a table in the back and waited. She showed up 20 minutes late. She was wearing jeans and a t-shirt, no makeup. She looked young, vulnerable. Hi, I said. Hi, she said, sitting down. I'm sorry, I said. For what I said, I was angry. And I said something terrible. She nodded. You hurt me. I know, I said. I'm sorry. I saw you with that man and I lost it. He was nobody, she said. Just a friend. Okay, I said. I wanted to believe her. Can you come home? She looked down at her hands. Oh, Paul Zaid, Douglas, I need to tell you something. My stomach dropped. What? I've been working again, she said quietly. At bars? I asked. She nodded. Not all the time. Just sometimes, when I need extra money. But I give you money, I said. It's not enough, she said. My family has so many expenses. My mother is sick all the time. My brothers need things. The 15,000 is not enough. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. Because I knew you'd be angry, she said. I'm not angry, I said. Though I was furious. I just wish you'd been honest. I'm being honest now, she said. What exactly are you doing? I asked. At the bars? Just the same as before, she said. Sitting with customers, getting ladies' drinks. Sometimes I barfine. You're sleeping with them? I said. She looked at me. Sometimes, if they pay enough. I felt like I'd been punched. While you're with me? Douglas, this is my work, she said. It's not personal. Not personal? I said. You're my girlfriend, and you're my boyfriend, she said. But I still need money. You can't give me everything I need. How much do you need? I asked desperately. Tell me. I'll figure it out. She shook her head. You can't afford it. Your pension is not enough. I know how much you have. You told me. I have savings. I said. Not anymore you don't, she said. I see you worried about money all the time. I'll get more, I said. I'll figure something out. Douglas, she said gently, you're a good man. But you're not rich. I need someone who can really take care of me. So what? I said. You're leaving me. I don't know, she said. I'm confused. I care about you, but I need to be practical. We sat there in silence for a long time. Can I ask you something? I said finally. Okay. Almost the whole time we'd been together, you never really quit, did you? I said. I did, she said. For like 2 weeks. But then my mother needed money and I went back. Which bar? I asked. Different ones, she said. LA Cafe sometimes. Also high society. Angels Club, wherever. And all those nights you said you were with friends. I started. I was working. She finished. I felt numb. Were you with someone last night? Douglas. Were you? I asked. Yes, she said. Who? A customer, she said. From Germany. He's here for 2 weeks. And he pays you? Yes. How much? She sighed. 5,000 for short time, 10,000 for long time. 10,000 pesos. That was about 240 Canadian dollars for a whole night with her. I'd been paying her 15,000 per month to be my girlfriend, and she'd been selling herself for 10,000 per night to strangers. How many? I asked. How many men? I don't know, she said. I don't count. Guess. Douglas, don't do this. Guess. I said again. Maybe 5 or 6 per week, she said quietly. 5 or 6 per week. For 4 months. That was 80 to 100 men, while she was my girlfriend. I need to go, I said, standing up. Douglas, wait. I can't do this, I said. I walked out of the mall. I got in a taxi. I told him to just drive. I didn't care where. We ended up in Manila Bay. I sat on the wall overlooking the water for hours, watching the sun go down, trying to process what I'd just learned. Everything was a lie. All of it. She never quit the bar. She never wanted to quit. The money I gave her was just extra income on top of what she made selling herself to other men. I thought about the German guy, and the bald guy I'd seen her with, and all the others. Men touching her, being with her. The same her that I thought was mine. I felt like an idiot. But I couldn't let go. Not yet. I needed to know everything. I needed to see the whole truth. The next day I did something I'm ashamed of. I went to Club Paradise, the original bar where I'd met her. I asked the mama-san if I could see the Barfine records. Why you want to see? She asked suspiciously. I'm looking for information about a girl, I said. Sunshine. She used to work here. Sunshine still work here. She said. My blood went cold. What? She work here still, the mama-san said. She work here 2-3 nights per week. Thursday. Saturday, usually. Can I see the records? I asked. I'll pay. She looked at me for a long moment. Then she shrugged. 5,000 pesos. I gave her the money. She pulled out a notebook. A physical notebook with handwritten entries, dates, girl names, customer names, Barfine amounts. She found Sunshine's name. There were pages and pages of entries. I started reading. October 15th. Sunshine Barfine by Douglas. 3,500 pesos. October 18th. Sunshine Barfine by Douglas. 3,500 pesos. October 21st. Sunshine Barfine by Douglas. Canada. 3,500 pesos. That was the first 3 weeks, when I thought we were dating, before she quit. Then in November. November 2nd. Sunshine Barfine by Douglas. Canada. 3,500 pesos, last entry for Douglas. But the entries continued. Town. November 5th. Sunshine Barfine by Robert, USA, 5,000 pesos. November 7th. Sunshine Barfine by Klaus. Germany, 5,000 pesos. November 12th. Sunshine Barfine by John. Australia. 5,000 pesos. November 15th. Sunshine Barfine by Douglas. Canada. 5,000 pesos. Wait. November 15th. That was after she'd quit. I flipped through more pages. She'd been barfined. 3, 4, sometimes 5 times per week. Every single week. From October until now. June. 8 months. Different names. Different countries. Americans. Germans. Australians. British. Japanese. Koreans. Dozens and dozens of men. And my name appeared too. Scattered throughout. Douglas. Canada. Usually once per week in the early months. Then less frequently. The last entry with my name was April 3rd. I'd bar-fined her in April? I tried to remember. Then it hit me. That was the night she'd said we should go out for drinks and we'd ended up at a bar. She'd suggested it. She'd taken me to Club Paradise, her own bar, and had me bar-fine her like a customer. I felt sick. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. When I came back out, the mama-san was watching me. "You okay?" she asked. "How much did she make?" I asked. "Total, from all these bar fines." She did some calculation on her phone. The bar keeps 40%. She gets 60%. So from October to now, she maybe make 300,000 pesos from bar fines, plus ladies' drinks commission, maybe another 100,000. Total maybe 400,000 pesos. 400,000 pesos, that was almost 10,000 Canadian dollars, from bar work alone. And I'd been giving her 15,000 pesos per month on top of that. Another 120,000 pesos. Plus all the extra money for emergencies. Another 50,000 at least. She'd made close to 600,000 pesos off me and her other customers combined. 14,000 Canadian dollars. "You her boyfriend?" the mama-san asked. "I thought I was," I said. She laughed. Not meanly, just sadly. "No boyfriend, sir. Sunshine have many boyfriend. You just number one for this month, maybe. Next month, different number one. Does she have a main boyfriend?" I asked. "Like a real one?" "Maybe," she said. "I don't know her personal life, but I know she very good at her job. Very good at making men think they special." I left the bar. I went back to my apartment. I sat on the couch and I cried. I'd never cried since Linda died, but I cried then. For hours. Around midnight my phone rang. It was Sunshine. "Hello?" I answered. "Hi, Douglas," she said. Her voice was soft. Sweet. "I miss you." "Do you?" I said. "Yes," she said. "Can I come over?" "I went to Club Paradise today," I said. Silence. "I saw the bar fine book," I said. More silence. "All those men," I said. "All those times. You never stopped working." "Douglas," she started. "And I was in there too," I said. "You had me bar fine you. Your own boyfriend. You made me pay your bar just to see you." "It wasn't like that," she said. "What was it like then?" I asked. "Explain it to me." "You don't understand," she said. "This is my life. This is how I survive." "I was supporting you," I yelled. "I gave you 15,000 per month. I gave you extra money whenever you asked. I paid for everything." "And I appreciated it," she said. "But it wasn't enough." "So, you just kept fucking other men?" I said. "For money? While telling me you loved me?" "I do love you," she said. "You love my money," I said. "That's not fair," she said. "You've made over 500,000 pesos in 8 months," I said. "Between me and the bar. Over 14,000 Canadian dollars. Do you know how much money that is to me?" "I needed it," she said. "For what?" I demanded. "Your mother? Your brothers? Is any of that even real?" She was quiet. "Is it?" I asked. "My mother is real," she said. "She is sick sometimes, but not always. And my brothers, they don't know I send money. My mother doesn't let me tell them." "So, where does the money go?" I asked. "I save it," she said. "I'm saving to buy a house, in Bicol, for my family, so we can have something." "You're saving it," I repeated. "While I'm running out of money, while I'm going broke supporting you." "I didn't ask you to go broke," she said. "You asked me for money every month." I said. "Because you offered," she said. "You wanted to be my hero. You wanted to save me. I just let you." "Fuck you," I said. Fuck you too, Douglas, she said. You're just like all the others. You think you can buy me. You think giving me money means I belong to you. But I don't belong to anyone. I loved you, I said. No, you didn't, she said. You loved the idea of me. Young Filipina, who needs saving, who makes you feel important. But you don't know me. You never knew me. You're right, I said. I don't know you. So now what? She asked. Now nothing, I said. We're done. Fine, she said. Can you give me one last month's allowance? For June? Since we're breaking up? I couldn't believe it. Even now, even in this moment. She was asking for money. No, I said. Please, she said. I really need it. I have bills to pay. Get one of your customers to pay them, I said. Douglas. I hung up. She messaged me 17 times that night, calling me names, begging for money, telling me I was a bad person, telling me she loved me, telling me she hated me. I blocked her number. That was 2 years ago. I'm back in Winnipeg now. I came back in August 2022. I'd been in the Philippines for 10 months, total. I left with 9,000 Canadian dollars in my bank account. I'd gone through $31,000 in 10 months, most of it on sunshine, some on living expenses, some on other stupid things I bought trying to impress her. I couldn't afford the apartment in Makati anymore, so I moved back into my old house in Winnipeg. I'm still here now. The same house. The same life. I tried to escape, except now I'm poorer and more alone than I was before. I don't know where sunshine is. I blocked her on everything. But sometimes I look at Club Paradise's Facebook page. I've seen her in photos there. She's still working, still doing the same thing. There are new foreign guys in the pictures with her. Older men. Like me. She's doing to them what she did to me. Part of me feels bad for them. Part of me thinks they deserve it. The worst part is, I still think about her. I still miss her, even knowing what she was. Even knowing it was all fake. I miss the feeling of being with someone. Of mattering to someone. That's how sick this made me. I started going to therapy in January. My doctor recommended it. She said I showed signs of depression and maybe some kind of addiction, not to substances but to the feeling, to the validation. The therapist asked me if I've thought about going back to the Philippines. I told her yes. I think about it every day. She asked me if I would go back. I told her I don't know. That's the truth. I don't know. Part of me knows it would be stupid. Part of me knows Sunshine would just do the same thing again. Take my money, lie to me, sleep with other men while pretending to be mine. But part of me doesn't care. Part of me just wants to feel that feeling again, even if it's fake. I've been on Club Paradise's website. I've looked at the girls. I've thought about buying a plane ticket, just to visit, just to see. I haven't done it yet, but I might. That's the thing they don't tell you about the bar scene in the Philippines. It's not just about money. It's not just about sex. It's about loneliness. It's about men like me who have nothing else, who have nobody else. And girls like Sunshine know that. They can smell it on you. They know exactly what to say, exactly how to act. They tell you you're different. They tell you you're special. They make you believe you matter, and you want to believe it so bad that you ignore everything else. You ignore the late nights, the lies, the other men, the money disappearing. You ignore all of it because the alternative is going back to being alone. I should have seen it coming. Looking back now, the signs were everywhere. She never introduced me to her family. In 10 months, I never met her mother, never met her siblings. She said they lived too far away. She said they were busy. But really, she was keeping her lives separate. The bar life and the girlfriend life. She was always dressed up when she went out at night. Full makeup, heels, tight dresses. No woman dresses like that just to hang out with girlfriends. But I told myself she just liked looking nice. She had new clothes constantly, new shoes, new makeup. She said her friends gave them to her, but really her customers were buying them, or she was buying them with the money she made. She never wanted to stay in. She always wanted to go out, to malls, to restaurants, to places where she could be seen, because that's part of the game, being visible, being available. She got messages at all hours. She said it was her friends, but it was customers. Men asking if she was working tonight, men asking to meet up. She never had money, even though I gave her $15,000 per month. She said it all went to her family, but really she was saving it, building her future, while I was draining mine. She didn't want a boyfriend. She wanted a customer who paid monthly. That's all I ever was to her. If you're reading this and you're thinking about doing what I did, let me tell you something. Don't. If you meet a girl in a bar in the Philippines and she tells you she wants to quit, she's lying. If she tells you you're different from the other customers, she's lying. If she tells you she loves you after 2 weeks, she's lying. It's all part of the job. Making you believe, making you feel special, taking your money. Some guys are okay with that. They go to the bars knowing it's all fake. They pay for the girlfriend experience and they enjoy it and then they go home. No harm done. But if you're lonely like I was, if you're vulnerable like I was, if you actually start to believe it's real, you're going to get destroyed. I lost $31,000. That might not sound like a lot to some people, but it's everything to me. That was my savings. That was my security. That was supposed to last me years. Now I'm 65. I have $9,000 in the bank. My pension barely covers my expenses. I can't afford to retire comfortably anymore. I'll probably have to get a part-time job just to make ends meet. All because I believed a 23-year-old bar girl when she told me I was special. The really fucked up part is I'd probably do it again. That's what scares me the most. Knowing what I know, having been through what I've been through, I'd still probably go back. Because being lied to and used is still better than being alone. That's what the bar scene does to you. It finds men who are broken and it breaks them more. It takes men who are lonely and it makes them desperate. It takes men who are vulnerable and it destroys them. And the girls? They're just trying to survive. I don't even blame Sunshine, really. She grew up poor. She found a way to make money. Good money. She's smart. She's good at her job. She saw an opportunity, and she took it. I was the fool, not her. But I'm telling you this because maybe you don't have to be a fool too. Maybe you can learn from my mistake. Maybe you can see the red flags I missed. If a bar girl tells you she wants to quit, ask yourself why she's still working. If she needs money every month for family emergencies, ask yourself why the emergencies never end. If she's always out at night with friends, ask yourself what kind of friends only hang out at bars. If she won't introduce you to her family, ask yourself why. If she has multiple phones, ask yourself who she's talking to. If she comes home at 4 in the morning smelling like cigarettes and sex, ask yourself where she really was. Don't make the mistakes I made. Don't ignore what's right in front of you. Don't believe something just because you want it to be true. The Philippines is a beautiful country. The people are kind. The food is good. The weather is nice. You can have a good life there if you're smart about it. But the bar scene will eat you alive if you let it. I let it. Now I'm sitting here in Winnipeg in February. It's -20 outside. I can barely afford to heat my house. I eat rice and eggs most days because it's cheap. I haven't talked to my daughter in months because I'm too ashamed to tell her what happened. And I'm looking at flights to Manila because I can't help myself. That's the real trap. Not the bar girls, not the money. The trap is the part of yourself that would rather be used than be alone. I still have the last message Sunshine sent me before I blocked her. I saved it. I read it sometimes. It says, "You'll come back, Douglas. They always come back." She's probably right.